Chief Meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, it's pretty active out there when we're talking about Hurricane Milton, but here in the Concho Valley, I'm seeing some very impressive Halloween decorations go up all across the entire neighborhood. It looks amazing. And of course, we're talking about more of these holidays coming around and how close Halloween is. Now, we're looking at beautiful temperatures that could push into some of those summer-like temperatures by the end of this week. Looking at the temperature change over the last 24 hours, all the way down into those upper 50s. Then we made a good, 36-degree run at those lower 90s. By tomorrow, we could be inside that 40-degree spread. And of course, looking at the drought monitor. Now, it's going to be a pretty busy weekend, but the weather's going to be very cooperative here in West Texas, 93 in San Angelo. Everybody else joining us in a combination of those upper 90s and those lower 90s. You know, I'm always looking for 10 degrees under that standard heating and cooling atmospheric pressure, and we definitely have it. 87 in Sterling City, 97 down there in Sonora. That is where everybody else could be by tomorrow as we make our way in towards the end of this week. Now, we're looking at the moisture values. Of course, we're talking about the moisture tracker, and we're talking about the drought monitor as well. Still seeing those dew points in those 50s and those 40s, and the humidity indices are still in those 20s, if not seeing some of those teens down in some of those drier areas of the Concho Valley. But when we talk about dry air, we're watching some of that dry air near North Dakota try to fight its way down. Now, as soon as Milton moves out of the way, we're going to see a pretty dynamic setup. We'll see some weak ridging make its way in. A good long wave trough sort of gets stuck somewhere around Nevada. Take a good look at this long wave trough that makes its way down by Wednesday, if not Tuesday. That's going to drop us all the way down into those lower 80s, and I'm going to go ahead and say it could be those upper 70s. This is going to get pretty cold pretty quickly. Water vapor imagery really just showing you where Milton is at right now while the dry air continues to push it across Florida. And speaking of that dry air, look how much it is all the way up to North Dakota into Wyoming and Montana, but they're starting to see a little bit of that cloud cover now. That's the cool down we have our eye on. When we look at the moisture tracker, we're going to watch as Milton makes its way across Florida, maintains its strength, and then we start to see that cool air slide in right behind it. Now, that's going to be that air displacement we talk about. As soon as all that warm moist air moves out of the way, that cold dense air is going to sink in right behind it. We take you into the severe weather outlook where it is just targeting Florida all the way up into that moderate category. Now, you've heard all day about somewhere around 12 tornadoes have been confirmed on the ground, and it's going to continue to push through the rest of the evening. We'll see how much that nighttime cooling suppresses things, but we are seeing a little bit of that activity return to the Concho Valley, if not Oklahoma. We take you down to the culprit right now. Milton is a category 3. It's making landfall right about now. It's moving northeast at 15 miles per hour, and it's come up all the way from 905 to about 948, so it's definitely weakening, but our big concern is if it's going to grow in size as it continues to make its way across land. Slated to become a category 1 by later tonight. Satellite showing you quite a picture right now. Look how strong this storm is. Stephen and I have been staring at it all day, trying to make sense of sort of what's happening. Of course, Futurecast is going to show you how it's going to make landfall here in the next couple minutes. Continues to hold its strength all the way across towards somewhere around Melbourne. I'm talking to you, Jed and Alice, and then it makes its way out. Now, that's going to shape up for a beautiful Friday night. So tonight, we're going to hold on to some of that heat going down into those 60s. Then tomorrow, let's practice some of that hot weather safety because we're going to get near those triple digits. It's going to stay that way well into the weekend. Pretty busy Friday night football, still holding on to those warm temperatures. Ram Jam still going strong. By the time we get to the Roval 400, we're still holding on to those near triple digits. But as we begin that second, if not third week of October, Columbus Day, we're going to see a huge drop in temperatures all the way down into those lower 80s, while those lows go all the way down into those upper 40s. Stay tuned. We'll have more for the break. You're watching KSAN News at 5.